My entry that I caught earlier before the stream was 636 for a sell. Um, Hopped out the trade a little too early on that one because it continuously went down. I closed out at 562. It's currently at 537, right? Or on this 515ish. All right. So right here, as you can see, current consolidations going on. Um, to resistance to support. Nothing real crazy going on right now, right? We want to see some type of break of structure. We either want to see the break of the resistance or break of the support, and then continuously go on from there. But let's go ahead and go to the 15-minute, which is one of my favorite time frames. Make the most money in and kind of just jump in and jump out, right? So I have a entry where I want to get into, which is right here. So potential. I never spell potential right. Don't judge me. Potential entry. Hopefully it goes back up there real quick. Right. So I have the 612 or higher for a potential entry. And I have TP1 right here and then TP2 most likely down here, right? I'll go ahead and mark it off too, just so you guys can have it. TP, let's go ahead and change that style to green. Right, so my potential right now, it looks something like this, right? So I'll go from here. My SL will be just a little bit above here, right? SL just a little bit above here. TP right around here, right? So that's my first entry. I wish I would have stayed in the trade now. Like I said, I got in at 636, which is somewhere right here. 636 is where I got in and kind of just held it, right? Usually don't hold trades. So that's a first for me. As you know, I am a scalper trader, so I like to be in and out the market within 15 minutes to 4 hours. Do not like to stay in the market that long. Right? And then we have another potential from here. So same SL, just longer TP. But so the next thing, if you are new to the chat or the stream again, what I like to do is pretty much I like to ride the wave of the market, right? I'm not predicting where I think the market will go. I just react, right? The market's going down. I'm going to go down with it. The market wants to go up. I'm going to go up with it. Now, right here is why I say you want to be careful if it does break structure, right? Because on the 15-minute time frames, on the higher time frames, it is creating lower lows and lower highs, which is the structure of a downtrend, right? But on the lower time frame, it's creating higher highs and higher lows, which is the structure of an uptrend. Right? We had slightly break of structure right here, but hasn't really broken this TP or support level, right? And then continuously went right back up. Now it hit our potential entry again. I did catch that entry earlier before the stream, and then it's going back down again, right? So we kind of just want to see how the market reacts. Let me actually go ahead and send this into the Telegram. Let me know how you guys feeling though this morning. Talk to me, man. Let me know in the chat how you guys are feeling this morning. Yeah, let me know how you feeling. And then just kind of just going back to the first 20 minutes of me talking without showing my screen, right? First thing I like to do in the morning is go to Forex Factory, just kind of see what's the agenda for today, right? Who's speaking, what type of news is coming out this morning to kind of start forming a bias, right? I don't come into I'm gonna sell this morning. No. Right. You kind of want to form a bias based on what you see from fundamental analysis, right? So what I like to do first is definitely go in here just kind of like to just look at Forex Factory, see what's going on, right? So we had some news drop at 7:30 with the big man Powell, right? Again, for those who don't know, is a big influence within the market. So definitely, if you're new to investing or trading, make sure you take your time. Make sure you're careful when you're trading with him, right? Because as he can make you a lot of money, he can also take a lot of money. Right. We also got a couple other things, 8:30. We had core durable good orders. Um, Durable good orders again. We got some more news at 9. Not too much heavy news. And then again at 9:55 and 10 o'clock, right? So we want to pay attention to those as those can help shift the market into a certain direction, right? And I believe at 10 is the last time we'll get some news for US dollar, right? So after I do that, the next thing I go into Bloomberg. I like to look at the homepage. This is what I was talking about right here, right? Inflation and expiring benefits have left Americans going hungry, right? So that's never good, no matter what country you're in. If your own people are starving or going through it right now, it's never good. It's actually a negative for the economy, right? How can you help someone else if you're not helping yourself, pretty much? So things like that. Then right under, you can also see underpaid U.S. workers are doing more to make more, right? Underpaid U.S. workers is the very first thing you want to pay attention to. Again, that's something that's super negative within the market. So that's something that could eventually be affecting the market. Why it's pushing down so much right now, right? Right before opening bell. So again, I am looking for a potential entry over here at the 612 on here. And I believe that is going to be, yeah, on MT4, that's 636 where I entered earlier, right? So 636 is the potential entry point. So let me go ahead and actually type that up real quick so people know. This is what is it? 29636. 29636 on MT4. Let me go ahead and make sure I put that into the chat as well. 29636 on MT4. All right, so that was one of the potential entries. So again, just going back to it, like to look at the news, like to see what is going on within the economy to start forming our bias, right? You go to the homepage of Bloomberg, kind of same thing, right? Right here, keywords right here. Recession risk rises, right? So that's never good. They're using the word recession, right? Never good. So that should start forming your bias, right? We had some news on Forex Factory kind of let us know what they'll be talking about today. And then the word recession is being thrown around, right? Then it says future rise, pound gains as global sell-off pause, market wraps, right? US 30 business equipment's order rise by most since the start of the year. Germany suspects sabotage hit Russia's Nord Stream gas pipelines, right? So again, we're seeing it over here again. Underpaid US workers are doing more to make more. We're seeing it again. So we saw it twice already. So just kind of keep those in mind, right? Just to kind of keep that in mind of what's going on. All right. And remember, we are looking for some type of pullback unless it breaks structure, then we'll be doing something else, right? So for right now, this is kind of the trade idea, right? If it does break structure, and what I mean by break structure, right? I anticipate if it does break structure, it'll look something more like this, right? It'll break structure. It means it'll come up here, somewhere up here. It doesn't matter where technically, but up here uses this right here, our potential entry or resistance level as support and continue to go up, right? That's a break of structure, right? Because it's now destroying the consolidation or ranging zone and headed back up from, the downtrend structure, which is, lower highs, lower lows. So that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for some type of pullback. Let us know we're in, so we can potentially get an entry. So that's all we're waiting for. We're waiting for a potential entry to get on. A lot of negative news happening in Bloomberg. Of course, you always want to refresh these pages as well. Never just leave them sitting there, as the biases do change, right? Investing.com, which was the last one I was kind of showing before realizing I wasn't sharing my screen, is investing.com is a good site that I like to use, kind of a mixture of, Bloomberg and, in a way, TradingView at the same time, right? Because it kind of gives you, some articles about the economy, what's going on, and then from there, it also kind of gives you, some technical analysis of what they think the market is going to do, right? They go to technical analysis, they'll give you strong sells, strong buys, whatever the case is, or neutral, right? And then also kind of give you some classic, some key points where they think the market will either reverse, some support levels, resistant levels, right? They have it all down to a T. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, we're just patiently waiting, not trying to do too much. Kind of see where the market takes us this morning. Right, we have about 9 minutes left on the market before it opens. I will adjust this potential second entry. All right, because we can adjust it to hit right here, but that means we've already missed it. And that one's about 50 pips or so from the first entry. Yeah, I like my other idea better. Let's do that one. So again, just patiently waiting for the market to open up. I had a lot going on with these. Let's go ahead and get rid of these very quick. So again, just patiently waiting. Already checked that. Boom burst, refresh, see what's going on. Anything new? We have news again dropping at, all right, so 55. So 10 minutes right after, I would say 20 minutes, right? After opening bell. So 33 minutes from now, we'll have more news dropping. And then at 10, we'll have more news dropping again. Right. So this is going to kind of persuade or push the market in certain directions. So we kind of just want to pay attention to that. All right. And as always, just make sure you're always kind of refreshing if you're using investing.com, just to kind of see if they've changed their bias or if they're sticking with it. All right. So when we checked earlier, all of these said sell. All right. All of these said sell. So from there, we're just waiting, not doing too much. Patiently waiting. We have about 7 minutes in the market. We had a nice push down on my first entry. I did take that position earlier before the stream. I did get out a little too early, collected about 84 pips on that trade. The market is still pushing down. We'll see if it respects the 50 EMA, respects that and continues to bounce back up. We're kind of just waiting to see what it does before we decide to, get into the market, right? Also continuously refreshing Bloomberg just to kind of see if they drop any extra news. We can also go here, right? The little tab right here on TradingView actually says news. We click that. We'll actually get the latest news right there. So it looks like everyone's dealing with inflation, not just the United States of America, but everywhere, right? Everywhere is dealing with some heavy form of inflation. Right. So again, we're just patiently waiting. At our 50 EMA right now, seeing if it respects it, seeing pretty much what it does as the market, is getting ready to open up in the next 5 minutes. Right. If you guys have any questions, definitely feel free. But again, we are just patiently waiting. I like to do these live streams just to kind of have people, have are struggling to trade, kind of see how I'm trading, seeing the patience, seeing the detail work that you put behind the trading before you actually get into a trade, right? So we've been up here since about 8:30 or so almost an hour, just kind of just patiently waiting. And then, like I said, we like to be in the trade 15 minutes to 4 hours max, in and out with the bag, go enjoy the rest of our day. So again, patience, all right? Patience pays, all right? I'm gonna move that over there just so you guys can see it. So again, on MT4, our first potential entry is 636, right? Which is that 612 on trading view. We have about 4 minutes left of the market. Let's see what it does. I've seen the market have heavy push downs, and literally within the last 60 seconds, it'll go in the opposite direction faster than it went down or up, whatever the case is, right? So again, on the 15 minutes, it is forming higher highs and higher lows. 1 hour charts, a little bit different, a little more so just consolidation. Did form somewhat, but it hasn't broken structure, so you can't really count it. Mhm. 4 hours. Yeah, I want to definitely get an entry there before it shoots more down for sure. Like that. Had a nice pullback right here, straight to the trend line and right back down. 509 was clean. As you can see right here, is playing support. Over here, resistance. Super clean. That's how you start to figure out pinpoint entries right there, just like that. Look to the left is your best friend when you're trading. Kind of just see what history has done in the past, all right? 509 playing a little bit of support over here, a little bit of support over there, resistance on this end right here. So kind of showing you that 509 was definitely being respected. So even if you got up here and you've seen this massive pullback, you had a couple different options for entries, right? You could have entered here, could have entered there for potential sells, and eventually dropped. Same thing over here. Just got to be patient. Again, if you are tuning in, let me know if you can hear me and see me clearly. Go ahead and drop a one. Also, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're tuning in from as well. Some big push down, and then now we're having some massive wicks, right? The last 60 seconds, like I said. All right, so we got the market opening up in 60 seconds, well, 40 seconds, really. Just kind of patiently seeing what it's going to do before we get into the market, right? And like I said, I like to collect 30 to 50 pips max. I'm in and out. Go enjoy the rest of my day. I don't do too much when it comes to trading. Might even say my style of trading is boring, right? I don't may not hold trade long enough. But one thing for sure, definitely we're gonna make sure we make some money. We're gonna make sure we withdraw. That is the major thing. All right. So again, just patiently waiting. We have about 5 seconds left, 2 seconds, and the market is going to open. Market is open, right? Kind of seeing what it does. Held my entry, might hit TP1 already. This was from my analysis of this morning where I entered right here, the 636 area, way before the stream, caught about 83 pips before closing out, 84 pips around there. Yeah, I think this thing is just going to continue going down. We may have to call an audible for an entry. We will see. We may just have to call an audible for an entry, but we'll be patient as always. Just patience, patience, patience. We want to see some type of pullback or rejection before entering. You don't want to enter here for a sell because now you're risking more than your reward, right? If you enter here with the same SL, same TP, you'll only be making but so much. Right, so yeah, this TP1 looks like it's about to get hit, which is okay. We want to see some type of rejection before entering, right? Either to our first entry. I'll go ahead and fix this one to this just to satisfy everyone. All right, top of these wicks can be an entry. 636 is the main entry that I want. This is the one I caught earlier before the stream. It's about 84 pips or so. So we want to see some type of massive rejection towards the uptrend before we get in for a sell, right? We don't want to sell right here and aim it for the TP. Why? Because now we end up risking more than our reward. That's not why we're in this. That's not why we trade. We don't trade to risk more, right? We want to risk as little as possible to make as much as possible. So again, just patiently waiting, seeing some decent push-ups, right? We want to see massive push-ups towards our first or second entry before getting into this trade, right? Massive wick, close to TP, and just straight went in the opposite direction. All right, this is another reason, right, why I love to say TP is a luxury, right? Just because you have a TP set, it's not mean it is mandatory for your TP to get smashed, right? It's not mandatory, right? If it's close to your TP, 4 or 5 pips away from your TP, and you don't close, and it does something like that in the opposite direction, that's on you, man. I like to always say, if it's blue, it's on you. I imagine being into that trade, and it's literally like 5 pips away. What is it? This was right here, 18 pips away from TP, and then just completely just rejecting and going the opposite direction. All right, it's the risks we take as traders. So again, just patiently waiting for my entries. I'm not looking to rush into a trade, right? I want to be smart. I want to make sure I get into the trades I want. There's nothing worse than getting into a trade where you didn't want to be in the first place, right? That's the worst part. When it's like you want to be patient, but you rush, you get into an earlier trade you did not want to be in, and then it doesn't go in your direction, right? If anything, get into the position you wanted. And if it doesn't go in your direction, so be it. It's the position you wanted, right? It sucks when you get into a position you don't want and still lose. All right, so we're seeing massive rejection, like 18 pips away from TP before rejecting and going back in the opposite direction, right? It's some type of little resistance right here. So first entry I want to take is around 556 before getting into this trade. So 556 on MT4 is 574. So 574 is our first entry on MT4, right? So let me actually go ahead and place that over there as well. what was it? 29574 on MT4. All right, so that's our first entry, and right there, boom. So you see, kind of getting close to our first entry. Like I said, this is why we don't rush a trade. You don't want to get in right here because it's so close to TP and it goes in the opposite direction, right? It would have been sick had you entered there. 18 pips away from TP just to reverse. Right, so patiently waiting, seeing some small, slight rejections at entry, almost at entry. Right, so going to go ahead and take our first entry right here for a sell. Right, I hate when it puts me in position I didn't want. All right, so currently in at my first position at 566 for a sell. 566 on MT4. So it didn't put me at the 7.4 for some reason. Put me at 566 instead of 574. Right, so currently in at 566. That's my first entry. 566 is my first entry. All right, so 566 first entry. And I already have my trades planned out. So if it doesn't go, it goes into a total opposite direction. I have my second entry plot. Well, technically now this is my first entry. And this would be my second now. What do I want to listen to? Listen to a little Drake or something. I like fair trade. Getting close to the entry we actually wanted. So soon enter into that one. I got yeah, sweaty bitch nosy. I guess we go see. I gotta be single for a while. They can't control me. All right, patiently waiting, patiently waiting. Almost at the 636, the entry we actually want. Make sure you do not over leverage, okay? You do not need to over leverage when it comes to US 30. I promise you. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Currently close to our first entry at the 636, about 11 pips away. And that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking at the 636 close, about maybe 3 pips away. You know that it's over when I sing about it. We're looking at the 636 for entry, preferred entry. That rejection was crazy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. To be that close to TP1 to just we're waiting for that 636 or higher for an entry, me personally. I'm waiting for 636 or higher to get into this trade again. That's patience right here. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. It is what it is. Looking for that 636 before entering this trade. Boom. And it still didn't put me in that 636. That's crazy. Put me in at 630, 6 pips away. So currently in at my first two entries. Now again, if it hits SL, it is what it is. Just that means just the trade isn't going in your direction. Your analysis was wrong, right? So we're currently in two different entries right now, two different entries at the moment. From here, just patiently waiting, right? If it hits your SL, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. Just means your analysis was wrong. Got some tuning up to do, right? So I was waiting for the 636, and it for some reason still didn't put me in at 636, put me in at 630, right? So from here, we're just patiently waiting. Sheesh, that thing is shooting. Like I said, if it hits the SL, it is what it is. We just move on, right? It just means the analysis was wrong and we continue with our day. Hopefully it doesn't hit our SL, but if it does, that's why we have an SL, right? To stop our losses, to cut our losses short so we're not losing more than we anticipated to. Right? That's why we have SLs, why we have TPs, to make sure we get out of the trade when we're winning. And if we're losing a little too much, it's going to take us out of the trade without a thought. So that way we're cutting our losses short. Okay. So again, from here, just patiently waiting. That's a massive buy candle. Not going to lie to you. Got some news dropping soon. Massive buy candle right there. That's definitely like media inflated. But that's probably just there to get a lot of people, make sure they hit their SLs, you see? And this is why we don't rush into a trade, right? That's why we don't just jump into a trade. Imagine if I would have jumped in the trade right here when it was 18 pips away from TP and it just reversed on me like that, right? That would have been a very trash feeling, to say the least, right? Would have been a very trash feeling, to say the least, right? Because just imagine that. Like, imagine 18 pips away and you just rush. You're like, oh my God, it's going to hit TP. Let me rush. Now you're sick as it reverses. All right. That's why we patiently wait for our entries, right? We have planned out entries, not too close to each other, so it doesn't double the amount of loss. The closer to SL on the entry, the better, because that means we're risking less, right? Jeez, it was very close to SL, though. Not going to lie to you. Still kind of close, right? So from here, just patiently waiting, right? We're not trying to do too much. There's no need to try to put in extra entries because if it does hit your SL at this point, you're just throwing money away, right? We got our two entries, the ones we wanted. If it hits our SL, just means our analysis was wrong. Maybe we didn't give it enough room, whatever the case is, right? So from here, just patiently waiting. That is a massive buy candle, though, right? 15 minutes, so close to TP, and then just reverse, boom. But again, just as quickly as it goes up, same as it can go down, just as quickly. So again, just patiently waiting. We're not rushing anything. We're not trying to get extra entries in because then we're just risking more money than we need to, right? Or is now off the Apple Store, right? MT4 is now completely off the Apple Store. So you will need either a PC or Android to continue trading on MT4, okay? I would like to see massive sales now going on. But again, if it doesn't, it is what it is, right? Again, this is probably just massive. That's crazy, this one candle. Right? In profit on my second entry already. Right? This is the importance of entries, right? Importance of entries. Currently in profit on my second entry, waiting for my second entry to get into profit now. See, just like that. patience pays, man. Patience pays. Hopefully it keeps going down. We're in profit on our first and on our second entry right now. But again, you never get too excited, all right? That's the one thing with trading. Never get too excited until you close out your trades, right? Mm-hmm. So again, just patiently waiting. Our second entry is in profit at the moment. Trying to get to our first entry, so hopefully, we can make all that back. So again, just kind of got to be patient with it, right? And this is again why we do not over leverage, right? The over leveraging is what gets a lot of traders, right? Just the over leveraging. Over leveraging alone takes a lot of traders out just because now they cannot enjoy their full analysis because they put too much on their plate when they're trading. Right? Trading is already enough pressure as it is. Imagine the pressure of trading and over leveraging. It's nuts. Like I said, our second entry is in profit at the moment. We're just patiently waiting. Second entry about 210 to 180. It's bouncing between those in terms of money amount. Bouncing between 210 and 180, right? So again, just patiently waiting. And I did change. I'm no longer trading FTMO at the moment, trading top tier this morning. Shout out to top tier, right? We're trading top tier this morning. So again, back in the negatives. But that's part of trading, right? It's going to be negative. It's going to be positive. Just patiently waiting, right? Make sure we close out at the right times. Uh, so again, just patiently waiting. We're not doing too much. We're not adding extra entries in. Again, if it hits our SL, it is what it is, right? That's why we have an SL. Cut our losses short. It just means our analysis was wrong. Take the L, move on. Let's see this. All right, second entry back in profit. Second entry back in profit. And I do like to play with my lot size a little bit. So on my first entry, I'll never put my actual lot size, right? So if I'm putting a mini or a standard, most likely on a mini, I may put a 0.01 or, so on and so forth, right? And we're getting close to our first entry. I'm actually may close out soon. Let's see here. We are currently up 800 or so dollars. I'll show you right here. Sheesh, the brightness is crazy. About $800, $1,000 in profit, right? So what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna close out right here with $1,000 in profit, right? What it took us almost 20 minutes, right? Almost 20 minutes today. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the brightness just a little bit. Let me close out of these trades. All right, so we close out of these trades, right? Got to make sure you close them out properly. So I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll try to put it towards the screen a little bit. No, right there, right? So $1,000+ today, right? And we're done. We're done. We're not gonna do too much. Analysis still going in our direction. This is why SL and TP are needed, right? It didn't go in our direction right away, but look at the time. We finished in 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes, and the TP may actually smack while we're talking some shit, right? So patience, right? Patience. Make sure you're calculating your SL. Make sure you're calculating your TPs, right? Make sure you're playing around with your lot sizes, right? So if you know you're only risking, 1%, 2% of your total account for the day, right? Whatever that may be in lot size. Let's say you're risking only a mini, right? Which is 0.10, right? I may put on my first entry a 0.3, I'm sorry, 0.03, right? And then on my second entry, I may put a 0.07, right? Just to kind of balance it out, just in case it does hit my second entry, right? So we made over $1,000 today without me risking too much, right? 1,000. Let's just check it out real quick. So we made $1,094 today, close to 1,100 in just 20 minutes, right? All right. For most traders, that is nothing, right? I know traders who make 20K. I know traders who make 30K. I know traders who make 100K in a day, right? But for the normal, everyday, average person, $1,000 is 2 weeks worth of work. This is 80 hours every 2 weeks, right? So we just made that in 20 minutes. I'm super grateful. I'm happy. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. Like I said, I am a scalper trader. I do not do too much in the market. I like to be in and out. Now I can just go enjoy the rest of my day, right? So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys always. Make sure you follow that button on the Twitch, right? Make sure you hit the follow button on the Twitch. Make sure you hit the follow and subscribe. The subscribe button on the YouTube. I'm going to actually go ahead and plug it in right here real quick. Right now, we're currently at 113 at 200. I will do a giveaway. So again, make sure you plug into these things. I'm going to go ahead and drop everything here. Again, appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. And we did our thing today. Not a super crazy start, but $1,000 in a day, 20 minutes worth of work. I can go enjoy the rest of the week if I wanted to, right? But that's not why we do this. So appreciate you guys again. Have a great day, man.